Madam President.
The senator from Virginia.
Madam President, I've been privileged to be a member of the United States Senate now in my 29th year. Never have I stood on this floor and in any way impugned the integrity of any senator to speak as she or he believes from their own heart is what is right. I have never tried to challenge the patriotism of any senator as they express their views. And I say to my colleagues, I entered this debate simply because I feel that the Senate of the United States of America, an institution revered throughout the world, should have the right to go forward and debate this critical issue before America today, before the whole world. 10 days ago, I voted against cloture to support the rights of all colleagues to be heard. And that issue has been back and forth between our two leaders now for some weeks. I think we've come to the point in time when we must move forward. The only vehicle for those who wish to have this institution move forward and fulfill its goal is to move today to vote for cloture. And I shall cast that vote, not with a heavy heart, but with a heart that I think I'm doing right for the integrity of this institution. Madam President, I have joined with my good friend, Senator Ben Nelson, Senator Collins, and I'd read into the record, ask the record to show the other co-sponsors, all of whom are once again signed on to this amendment referred to as the Warner-Nelson-Collins Amendment. We do so because we only wish to express a measure of disagreement on one basic point, an important one, with our President. As an independent, as we say often, we're a co-equal part of our government. We have the right to respectfully disagree, and we do so in our language. We support the President on the diplomatic aspects of his plan. We support the President on the economic aspects of his plan announced on the 10th of January. We only disagree with one portion of it. Mr. President, do you need 21,500 additional men and women in the armed forces in this conflict? Indeed, it's more than that, as was testified before the Armed Services Committee the other day. To go into the streets and the alleys of Baghdad and to face an enemy which is largely today fighting a sectarian war. This country gave an enormous sacrifice of life and limb to give that nation its sovereignty. It is the duty of the Iraqi armed forces. That's the basic of ours. The Iraqi armed forces to take on the sectarian fight. The American GI does not know the language, does not know the historic background of over 1,400 years of the argument between the Sunni and Shia. And we've trained over 300,000. Why not give them the basic responsibility to take on this fight? Our resolution in no way has anything to do with the cutoff of funds. Senators stand up and castigate this thing because it's a cutoff. It is not a cutoff. It supports the President. It supports the present level of all the troops throughout Iraq. It simply says, Mr. President, are there not alternatives other than using the American GI to put down this sectarian violence? Madam President, I do hope as we pursue this debate that we respect one another and our rights and this institution, because I feel ever so strongly that our resolution supports the President economically, supports the President diplomatically, states that the President is correct. We cannot let this battle be lost and let this government collapse such that the people of Iraq are denied the sovereignty that our blood, sweat, and toil have given them. We stand by the President on that. We simply say, Mr. President, this particular battle in Baghdad is best fought by the Iraqis. And I regret to say, a New York Times report, and I ask this in open hearing before the Armed Services Committee just a day or so ago to the Chief of Staff of the Army and to the Commandant. This report which says in the most recent battle there were 2,500 Americans and 200 Iraqi security forces. That is contrary to what the President said. He said this battle the Iraqis will take the point. He said this battle that they will bear the burden and that we would be there in support. This is not support. We're fighting that battle. And again this morning I watched the General report on the progress made in the Battle of Iraq. Time and time again he referred to the Iraqi forces, not once. He referred only to the U.S. forces fighting that battle with no reference to the Iraqi forces. That is my point. That is what I steadfastly take this floor and respectfully just disagree with the President. I'll vote for the Gregg Amendment. As a matter of fact, the Gregg Amendment is in the Warner Amendment.
The senator has used 5 minutes.
Madam President, I yield the floor.